What if your shoes aren't failing you, but something else is quietly sabotaging them every time you walk? You could be wearing the right shoes, supportive, cushioned, and stable, and yet still end up with blisters and sore feet. And the cause is almost never what you think. It could be your socks. Today, we're talking about the best socks for walking shoes. I'm sharing 3 things you need to get right when it comes to socks: material, thickness, and the silhouette, and the mistakes I see women over 50 make. And I'll be revealing my favorite ones at the end of this video, so stick around. I'm marysue from the Trusty Shoe Guides, and I spent 40 years in the shoe business, and I can tell you the right sock can make a good shoe feel great, and the wrong one can absolutely ruin it. Let's get into it. Now, your feet have 250,000 sweat glands and can produce up to a pint of sweat a day. I know, it's kind of gross, but it's true. There's a lot of moisture trapped inside a shoe, and it's exactly why the right sock material matters so much. Now, if you follow me for a while, you've heard me talk about the huge boom in walking and running shoe technology over the past 25 years. Shoe companies have invested millions into better cushioning, breathability, and safety. Turns out the same evolution has happened in the sock industry. Today's performance sock materials are designed to pull sweat away from your skin. That keeps your feet drier, cooler, and far more comfortable, especially on longer walks. Now, these new technical materials do cost more, so expect to pay around $15 to $25 for a single pair of socks, but here's the good news: it is absolutely worth it. These socks are more comfortable and perform better. So when it comes to walking comfort, this is one upgrade your feet will thank you for every single step. Number 1, the material. Let's talk about what materials to look for and what to avoid. Despite what many of us learned growing up, cotton is not the fabric of our lives when it comes to socks. And when I say cotton, I'm not just talking about 100% cotton socks, but also ones that are 50% cotton or more. Here's the problem. Cotton absorbs moisture, but it does not move it away from your skin. So the minute your feet warm up, and yes, our feet sweat more than we realize, cotton just pulls that moisture right against your foot. Once socks get damp, friction increases. Hello, blisters and hot spots. Temperature control disappears. Feet feel clammy or cold, and odor and fungal issues become more likely, and we all want to avoid that. And as we age, our skin becomes more sensitive and slower to recover, which means these problems show up faster and linger longer. Cotton socks are fine for lounging around the house, but for walking and exercising, there are much better options now. Okay, synthetic blends are the gold standard for walking socks right now. Synthetic blends are a great option for walking, especially for women over 50. Now, when I say synthetic, I'm talking about performance fabrics like polyester and nylon blends. Ideally, 90% or higher synthetic content, so make sure you check the label. Here's why they work so well. These fibers are moisture wicking, meaning they pull sweat away from your skin instead of soaking it up. That moisture is moved to the outer layer of the sock where it can evaporate quickly, keeping your feet drier and more comfortable. Now, most high-quality synthetic socks also have built-in stretch, so the sock hugs to your foot, light compression around the arch to prevent slipping or bunching, and breathable zones that help regulate temperature. Pretty cool, right? And the result? Less friction, fewer blisters, and hot spots. Drier feet, lower risk of odor, and fungal issues. Better shoe fit. Your arch support and heel counter work the way the shoe was designed to. Improve stability. Your foot stays centered in the shoe instead of sliding around. And as we age, these details matter more and more. Okay, Wool. Yes, wool can be a great option, but make sure it is merino wool. That's very specific. Now, to be clear, these are not the itchy kind. I'm talking about merino wool that is mixed with a nylon and it's blended. High quality merino wool pulls moisture too, but in a different way. Because merino wool is a natural product, it vaporizes the sweat. This is ideal for regulating temperature. It's warm when it's cool and cool when it's warm, and naturally resists odor. Now, the key is thin performance wool blend socks, not thick, bulky winter socks. So make sure you get that right. The nylon in the sock will help retain the shape and provide a more secure fit. And when done right, wool can be one of the best materials for walking. But here's my personal take on these materials. I prefer synthetic moisture wicking blends like this Feetures one over wool. Now, I love how durable these socks are. They last so much longer than cotton socks. And I have both synthetic and wool blends in my drawer, but I tend to reach for the synthetic versions first. And that means something. I'm recapping all my favorite socks at the end of this, so make sure you stick around if you want to try a pair. Number 2, thickness. Now you're going to find socks are going to have light cushioning and max cushioning. Now, once you've chosen the right material, we have to get the thickness right. And this is where things can get rather personal because there's no one-size-fits-all answer in performance socks. Light cushioning socks are the thinnest option, and for many women, they work beautifully. These socks offer minimal padding and maximum breathability. And they have that kind of barely there feel, kind of like a second skin. And if you're a certain age, you'll remember barely there pantyhose. Does anybody remember those? If so, leave it in the comments below. We used to have to wear those to work every day. I'm glad those days are gone. But anyway, these socks feel like a second skin. So your foot is actually closer to the shoe and your brain gets clearer feedback from the ground. And then that improved ground feel can actually help with balance and stability. And it's something that becomes more important as we age. So light cushioning socks work especially well if your shoes already have a cushioning level you like a snug, precise fit, or you want a better balance and foot awareness when walking. You see, sometimes less padding gives you more control. Okay, let's talk about the flip side, max cushioned socks. Now, max cushioned socks provide a thicker padding throughout the entire foot, especially in high impact zones like the heel, the ball, and the toes, providing maximum impact absorption for long walk distances or hard surfaces. This means less pressure on thinning fat pads, and a lot of us can relate to that. Very important for women over 50. More comfort on hard surfaces like concrete or tile. Okay, some simple guidelines on how to choose. These are general, but I'm going to give it a stab. It's a personal preference, but here's how I like to think about it. Highly cushioned shoes or neutral shoes, I try a thinner sock. Firmer stability shoes often feel better with a slightly cushioned sock. And the fit of the shoe can come into play too. If you like a snug fit, go with a thinner sock. And if your shoes are a little bit loose, and some women deliberately size up in their shoes just so they can wear thick socks, if you're one of those, I would go with a thicker sock because a cushioned sock can fill that space without causing friction. So bottom line, your sock thickness should work with your shoe and not fight it. The right combination can improve comfort, balance, and how supported your feet feel all day long. Okay, number 3 is the silhouette. Sock shapes matter more than you think. Now, there's a mid-calf length. So let's talk about that. They're very popular with some runners and basketball players because they catch a lot of sweat. And that makes sense. They're sprinting, they're jumping, and they're perspiring heavily. And the taller sock will catch the sweat from running down the leg and prevent it from reaching the inside of the shoe. That's the goal here. But for most women over 50, we're not actually sweating at that level. During a walk, it's a fast walk, but there's usually not that much perspiration going on. season. So a higher sock usually doesn't add much benefit unless it's like really cold. You live in a cold climate, it's very cold outside. It could make sense there. Or if you just perspire heavily, then go with a tall one. But otherwise, I would suggest that extra fabric isn't doing much work for you. So for everyday walking, I like a lower cut sock or an ankle sock. I believe that they are the better choice. They feel lighter and less restrictive, and they really work beautifully with walking shoes. Now, I'll be honest, the first time I bought these, I worried that they might slip down into my shoes, but that doesn't happen with well-fitting shoes and a well-designed walking sock. So what to look for in a good low sock? A quality walking sock should have a snug collar that stays in place, arch compression to hug the midfoot, a shaped heel so it doesn't slide. When those elements are there, your stock will stay put. There'll be no bunching, no slipping, and no fuss, and no blisters. So my picks, and I'm linking to all of them in the description below. Now for synthetic socks, I'm really a big fan of the Feetures brand for really all levels of cushioning, and they have 3 levels. Now I discovered this brand at my local running shoe store a few years ago, and as it turns out, many others love this brand too, because I found that these socks have a 4.7 star rating on Amazon, and it has their Top Choice Award, and that's hard to argue with that endorsement. I also like the Bombas athletic socks. Now their athletic sock is a mid-level thickness, so it really kind of hits that sweet spot, and Bombas has unique colors in their socks and that really set them apart from others in the market. And if you like to try a wool blend, I would go with the Smart Wool brand. They're durable and they're super high quality, and they are my go-to. And I also wear the Bombas wool socks too. I like them as well. Now I'll link to these in the comments below and the description so you can check them out. And if you'd like even more on shoes and healthy aging, I do have a newsletter. It's full of all kinds of tidbits and tips on healthy aging and comfortable shoes, and I would love to see you there. And if you're enjoying this video, I would love it if you like it and subscribe it and leave me a comment. That would be much appreciated. Thank you, friends, and I will see you next time.